Hello and welcome to TTVNEWS with some latest events in TayNinhTV province and across the country. Ladies and gentlemen, recently the Provincial Service Committee issued directives to the Department of Agriculture and Environment along with local authorities across the province to promptly provide early warnings on environmental quality developments and effectively prevent and control dangerous diseases that may affect from aquatic species in the province.
Accordingly, the Provincial People's Committee requests the Department of Agriculture and Environment to continue effectively implementing the provincial plan on the prevention and control of the certain dangerous diseases in the farm aquatic animals in TayNinhTV province for the 2021 to 2030 period, as well as the 2025 disease prevention plan for the livestock, the poultry, and aquatic species in TayNinhTV province. The key action includes the conducting thorough environmental monitoring and early warning in the major aquaculture areas and issuing the timely recommendations to the farmers to help them respond effectively to adverse the environmental conditions. In addition, proactive measures are being taken to control, prevent, and reduce the sources of environmental pollution from aquaculture activities, especially in the cage farming areas. Authorities are also tasked with the strict inspection and supervision, proactive disease monitoring, epidemiological investigations, and diagnostics testing to identify the causes of the outbreaks and taking timely measures to handle the small-scale outbreaks and prevent the wider disease spread. Furthermore, effective quarantine of the breeding stock will be ensured. Breeding stock transported out of the province must be supervised also or tested to disease before quarantine certification is guaranteed.
Recently, the Brain for Social Policies has worked with interested mass organizations and local authorities to promptly distribute policy-related loans, meeting the capital needs of poor households and other policy beneficiaries. As of the end of April 2025, total outstanding loans for policy-related programs in the province reached over 4,596 billion Vietnam dong, with more than 13,000 active borrowers. Alongside related role, the bank continues to coordinate with local authorities and mass organizations to enhance credit quality through internal control and inspection measures. By the end of April, total overdue and frozen debt was over 24 billion Vietnam dong, accounting for 0.53% of total outstanding loans.
And on May 25th, Mr. Võ Quý, the director of the radio and television station, hosted a working session with a delegation from Long An newspaper and radio television station led by Mr. Lê Thị Thanh Tuyền, deputy editor-in-chief. During the meeting, both sides discussed coordination in producing the news programs and agreed on a unified approach in the preparation for the upcoming mergers. They revealed the overlapping broadcast times, program titles, and content. In the coming time, the stations plan to increase the number and the duration of the news broadcasted on both TV and radio platforms and channels, and focusing on the local issues, national and international events. And this collaboration aims to enhance the effectiveness of public communication.
Dear audience, as part of the National Target Program for Socio-Economic Development in Ethnic Minority and Mountainous Areas in the period of 2021-2025, TayNinhTV province has seen significant progress, and now major goals have been basically completed. From 2021 to 2025, the number of poor households among ethnic minorities rose from 56 to 11, fulfilling the site poverty reduction target. The province also achieved 100% of its special infrastructure goals, including roads, electricity, clean water, schools, health stations, and media access for ethnic communities. In education, school enrollment rates among ethnic minority students at all levels exceeded expectations. Healthcare has improved notably, with 100% of pregnant women receiving prenatal care and self-deliveries. The rate of underweight children dropped to 9.85%. TayNinhTV has also focused on preserving ethnic cultural heritage, with over 85% of hamlets having community centers and nearly 74% maintaining active cultural and art teams. Ladies and gentlemen, following the end of the 2024-2025 winter spring crop, Rice growing farmers in TayNinhTV are now busy planting the 2025 summer-autumn crop. As of mid-May, nearly 40,000 hectares have been sown, with the remaining area expected by June 15 to avoid pest infestations, as recommended by the agricultural sector.
Châu Thanh is one of the districts with the largest rice growing area in the province. Each year during the summer-autumn season, the district plants about 13,000 hectares of rice. Currently, nearly 90% of this area has completed the sowing, and most of the rice is in the young seedling stage. In Thanh Hoa hamlet of TayNinhTV commune, where nearly 20 hectares of rice fields are turning green, the farmers are actively inspecting their fields to prevent pest invasions. Mr. Trương Hồng Hưng, a farmer in Thanh Hoa hamlet who cultivate over 2 hectares of rice, and shared that TayNinhTV commune is considered a rice production hub, and the summer-autumn season, aside from the higher land area used for rotating with the cassava, nearly 100% of the remaining land has been sown with the rice, and currently the rice across the entire area is growing well with no signs of pests or disease outbreaks. Some of the higher land is used for growing cassava, but other than that, all areas in Thanh Hoa have already been planted with the rice, and a good summer-autumn yield is usually about 5.5 tons per hectare, which is excellent. And over the past 2 years, the rice farming has become more profitable than in previous years. Typically, the winter-spring crop has the highest yield due to the nutrient-rich start from the flood season and more stable weather. Meanwhile, the summer-autumn crop depends heavily on the weather conditions, with the alternating rain and dry spells that are favorable for the pests like brown pantopods. And according to the Sub-Department of Crop Production and Plant Protection, the weather conditions for this year's summer-autumn crops have been favorable so far, and with no heavy rain during the early planting stage, the rice growing evenly green and no pest issues have been detected yet. As of now, the rice across southern districts, and especially in TayNinhTV commune, is growing well and showing a healthy development. The winter-spring season had a favorable weather with minimal pest issues and high yields, and this summer-autumn season, farmers have planted rice early, and the weather has been good so far. No rain, so the good rice is growing very well. In Châu Thanh, last year's average summer-autumn rice yield reached 5.5 tons per hectare, comparable to the previous season. However, common diseases like white-black pathoper, leaf blight, and yellowing disease did appear mainly in late-sown rice and thickly planted yields, and where assessed, the nitrogen fertilizer was used without timely pest control. And although no major disease outbreaks have been recorded yet this year, TayNinhTV Sub-Department of Crop Production and Plant Protection is urging the farmers to stay vigilant from the beginning of the season, and the farmers are advised to frequently monitor their fields and apply the fertilizer properly, and detect and prevent the pest infestations early to avoid the losses like in the previous years.
Continue the program with domestic news. Ladies and gentlemen, from May 17 to 22nd, a delegation from Vietnam's Ministry of Health, led by Deputy Mr. Đỗ Xuân Tuyên, visited Cuba to enhance sectoral cooperation, particularly in the transfer of biotechnology and pharmaceutical technologies. With its strengths in biotechnology, preventive medicine, and vaccine production, Cuba's Ministry of Health expressed its commitment to furthering collaboration with Vietnam for the well-being of both nations' populations. A representative from BioCuba Pharma Group announced plans to transfer biopharmaceutical technologies to Vietnam and promote joint research and development of high-tech biological and pharmaceutical products. This partnership marks the beginning of a new phase in biopharmaceutical cooperation between Cuba and Vietnam. Ladies and gentlemen, as part of his official visit to Malaysia and attendance at the 46th Asian Summit and related high-level meetings in Kuala Lumpur, Prime Minister Phạm Minh Chính and his spouse met with staff of the Vietnamese Embassy and members of the Vietnamese community in Malaysia on the morning of May 25th.
Speaking at a warm and heartfelt gathering on behalf of the party and state leaders, the General Secretary told them, and in his own personal capacity, the Prime Minister Phạm Minh Chính extended the sincere greetings, best wishes for the health, happiness, and success, as well as the warm sentiments from the homeland to the overseas Vietnamese community in Malaysia. He expressed his deep appreciation for the community's strong connection to Vietnam, reflecting the spirit of unity and national solidarity, and he also praised Vietnamese associations and business organizations in Malaysia for their active roles in connecting, supporting, and protecting the legitimate rights and interests of the overseas Vietnamese, as well as organizing many meaningful activities.
Ladies and gentlemen, from message to 29/2025, citizens nationwide can directly contribute opinions on the draft amendments to the 2013 Constitution through the VNEID electronic identification app. This marks the first time public consultation on major national issues is being conducted entirely on a digital platform. Simple and accessible, the process allows people to submit feedback anytime, anywhere, using a smart device with internet access without having to visit government offices. The VNEID system offers several practical benefits, especially convenience and time savings. This is a very positive step. Through VNEID, data collection becomes the fastest, most direct, and highly accessible. It also ensures efficiency. Thanks to digital identity verification, the system guarantees security and transparency, minimizing risk of fraud and duplicate entries. Importantly, this approach allows citizens from all regions, including remote areas, to participate and voice their opinions. It enables broader public involvement in the legislative process, unrestricted by time or location. The ministry has issued directives to promote and guide people in submitting meaningful, well-informed comments, not just a informality, but contributing to specific provisions of the draft. As of May 21, 2025, over 1.2 million submissions had been made via VNEID, reflecting strong public engagement with the Constitution, one of the country's most foundational legal documents. Experts view this as not only a step forward in technology adoption, but also a powerful expression of direct democracy in the digital era. Broad implementation of this method is expected to have served a constitution closely aligned with the people's needs and aspirations, while promoting a more democratic, modern, and citizen-connected society.
Vietnam, along with 139 other countries, has been classified by the EU as a low-risk country for deforestation. And this means that only about 1% of Vietnamese businesses exporting goods to Europe will be subject to strict inspection. And the EU anti-deforestation regulations expected to take effect by the end of 2025 is supported broader efforts to curb the global deforestation by tightly monitoring the supply chains of agricultural and forestry products. And the regulation applies to the key commodities such as timber, cocoa, coffee, soybeans, palm oil, rubber, and beef also, as well as the certain derivative products like leather, chocolate, and furniture also.
Vietnamese mangoes currently account for 97% of China's imported mango market, far surpassing competitors like Thailand, Peru, Australia, Cambodia, and the Philippines. While China's mango imports from 5 other countries have declined, Vietnam stands out with sharp increases in both export volume and value. Specifically, Vietnam exported nearly 40,700 tons of mangoes to China, earning $28 million, an increase of 145 times in value. Popular varieties such as Hoa Lộc and Cactus mangoes are especially favored by Chinese consumers. Đắk Lắk, known for its fertile basal soil and famous for coffee and pepper, is now making a name for itself on Vietnam's roadmap, thanks to the promising development of lychee cultivation. In recent years, farmers in the region have expanded lychee plantations, producing early, evenly ripened fruit with exceptional quality. Ripening about a month earlier than lychees from northern Vietnam, Douglas lychees enjoy advantages in pricing and market access. By mid-May, lychee workers like that of Mr. Nguyễn Văn Hòa in Ekra district enter peak harvest season, expecting use of nearly 30 tons at an estimated price of 50,000 Vietnam dong per kilogram. After deducting production costs, Mr. Hòa is protected to earn profits in the billions of dong. Our region has a climate similar to Phú Yên with a lot of sun. Our lychees flower at the same time as those in the north. Ours ripen 20 days earlier. Esro and Esa camels in Eka districts were among the first to roll lychees in Đắk Lắk. Years of farming experience combined with favorable climate and soil conditions have turned this area into an emerging lychee hub, supplying both domestic and international markets. With current lychee prices, farmers are very excited. Compared to other crops, lychees can generate well. The local government is guiding people to try production linkage, establish large-scale fields, and develop planting agriculture to ensure sustainable lychee cultivation. As of 2025, Đắk Lắk has more than 3,200 hectares of lychee, with nearly 2,050 hectares in harvest. The province is expected to produce nearly 21,180 tons, with prices ranging from 35,000 to 60,000 Vietnam dong per kilogram, promising significant income for local farmers. And that's all for today, TTV News. Thank you for being with us and goodbye for now.